Welcome back to American Arms Channel, ladies and gentlemen. Today, as you can tell, of course, by the title of the video, we're going to show you how to swap out the springs in the Ithaca Mag-10. Now, the process for a Remington SP-10 will be much the same, so if you need to replace any of the springs in your SP-10, you can use this video as a guide as well. Today, we're going to be refreshing our springs and helping to balance out our system with the Wolff Springs, or gunsprings.com's Ithaca Mag-10 spring kit. Now, this is the enhanced power spring kit. This comes with an action spring, a hammer spring, and a magazine tube spring. On this particular gun, the magazine tube spring and potentially the hammer spring do not require replacement, but we're going to freshen them up just in case they decide they want to get a little weak on us later and we get into goose and duck season. However, just make a good judgment on what's wearing out. Most commonly, the action spring is going to be what wears down on you. This one definitely took a set in order to make sure it wasn't going to beat up the back of the buffer, and because I had this in the order, I actually stretched it a little bit. Not recommended, but that's what I did, and it worked, but it definitely went right back to its memory of being compressed and is definitely a bit on the lower power side now because it needs replacement. And we've got some fresh springs to do just that. What you'll need is some form of a screwdriver or Allen key set. I have a bits right here, so we're going to get that done there, and that will be to remove your magazine tube spring. You'll also want some form of a punch. This one right here is a 1/8 punch. I recommend using that. And I have a dental pick here. This is important for popping the D-ring, the keeper ring, off of the cross pin in the trigger housing. That is the access point, excuse me, for the shell lifter. You'll want something like this or a soft pick tool to be able to pop that out of its recess. But putting it back in will be by hand. So really not a lot of tools, so let's get started. To start, of course, lock open your action and check to make sure that your firearm is unloaded. Now, you do not have to have the bolt open in order to remove the barrel, so we're just going to let that be home. We're going to take our barrel nut, set that off to the side. We can now pull off our handguard, set that to the side. Our barrel comes off. Once again, we do not need that right now. We're going to set that to the side. And just to make sure it doesn't clank on the floor, we are going to remove our piston sleeve. Now, next, I'm going to flip the gun over and you'll see that the bolt came up and the charging handle came out of its recess slot. That's okay. It's just held in there, and when there's not a barrel extension in there, the bolt will start sliding around and allow that to fall out. But I'm going to turn it over, and from left to right, I'm going to punch the trigger pins. Now, the D10 is on the left-hand side of the trigger housing for both pins, so as soon as you have that cleared, they will fall right out the other side or be very easy to pull. So we'll just do that. Turn the gun onto its top and just pull your trigger housing straight out. We'll cover how to replace that hammer spring in just a moment. Next up, we're going to need to get this bolt group all the way back. And I find the best way to do that is we don't have to completely insert the charging handle, but I just put it in a little bit. I pull it back until I can grab the carrier. Hopefully you can see that pretty well. I grab the bottom of the carrier just below the bolt. I pull out the charging handle and I bring it all the way back and lift up and then control it forward. It should catch on the bolt release and shell stop latch. Just like that, your bolt is still retained. But what I'm going to do is I am actually going to push the bolt down slightly. And I'm going to pull back on the carrier the bolt is going to slide on out of the front of the receiver here. And I'm gonna set that down. Now I have a carrier that is spring loaded at an awkward angle and is going to want to explode out. And oh, by the way, there are sharp edges all over the bottom side of this receiver when the trigger packs out. So try not to cut your knuckles, because I've done it a couple times on this gun. So grab your carrier, press it back, push down your shell latch, pull forward and up and ease forward. And there you go. Now you can pull it up and you can see that our action spring wanted to come right on out of the gun, and I can tilt it forward. And there we are. And this one is all grungy and gross. So we're going to toss that off the side. We do not need that guy anymore. So at this point, we have a field stripped gun, and we could absolutely slide in a brand new action spring. So if that's as much as you needed to do, congratulations. Put the gun back together and you're good to go. Now, if you're looking to replace the magazine spring right here, you'll notice that it has a captured fowler and that mine turns. Some do, some don't. These shouldn't be really much more than hand tight. Some people put Loctite on it, but the magazine tube can turn right off the gun. But the most efficient way to do this is going to be to remove that Allen key, and we don't have to worry about potentially screwing up our fine threads, and we don't have to remove that. And now we're going to take our hex bit on the screwdriver, and we needed 3 hands here, but I'm going to press the fowler forward. I'm going to insert that, and it shouldn't be too tight. We're just going to spin that guy right on out, and be careful. It is a little screw. Don't want to lose that guy. We'll set him right down there, and right out the back, our solid aluminum magazine fowler will come right out. Set that guy down, and now we can see we have pulled our magazine spring. So let's unpackage our Wolff Springs here. We've got our action and magazine spring as well as our hammer spring here. So I'm going to set those aside. Let's get into our action and magazine spring. Here's our magazine spring, and it does seem to be slightly less in diameter. Well, it is less in diameter. You could probably fit that inside of the original there, but it's not much different. If we compare the tension, I'm just going to grab the last 2 coils. This is very easy. This one definitely has, oh yeah, a lot more tension. A lot more tension. So that's going to help improve reliability of feeding, especially with heavier loads and especially in cold conditions where we know everything likes to slow down, especially if we've got moisture or any amount of oil residue in there. So we're going to just go ahead and insert that right on in. I'm going to take my fowler here up inside the receiver. It's going to help me out, and I'm going to have to cover this a little bit, maybe not, but I'm going to press my shell stop latch here, my bolt release. I'm going to use it to apply tension and kind of just turn it to that groove right there so I can get it lined up. It's kind of a 3-handed operation, not the easiest to do on camera, but we'll get that guy lined up here. All right, now that we've got that lined up, I'm going to take my driver here and just turn it just a little bit, and then I'm going to insert my screw, and we're just gonna send her on home. You do not have to snug this screw down. Basically, as long as it is below the cut and below the surface of the magazine tube, it is fine, and you don't have to tighten it down too much. It's not going to work its way out. And there we go. We have an enhanced power spring in the magazine tube. Next up is our action spring. We can see we have a nice fresh action spring here with tight coils. If we compare that to the original that came out of the gun, and remember I did say that I had stretched this a little bit, and you can see some of the coils are a little bit off. The Wolff spring is just a touch longer, but this whole middle section here was fairly well collapsed before I stretched it a little bit, and definitely in the next 100 to 150 cycles, it's probably going to take a set and start to fatigue and give up once again. So definitely need to be replaced, and you can see how much darker that spring is. This is much smoother. This is not corroded at all, of course, because it's brand new, and this is definitely what you want in the gun. And this is an expendable item. Don't feel bad. This whole kit costs around $25 shipped to your door, something like that, and it's worth it. Don't hesitate to replace these springs. So I'm going to slip this right on into the action spring tube. I'm going to turn the gun over, and here comes one of the trickier parts of reassembly. Just get that back end of the carrier leg in. Going to start trying to get that inserted. We're going to force her in, press the release button, push her down. Okay, now we've caught it right there, just like that. It's going to hold its position. I'm going to slip my bolt in. I'm going to keep it oriented properly. And there's a cross pin right here that matches up with a cut in the rear of the carrier. And the trick here, and it's going to take you a couple times to feel this out, I've gotten fairly good at it. You kind of get them pressing rearward at the same time. It's a little bit tricky because the bolt wants to dive into the recess for the barrel extension. Kind of press it down. I'm going off camera here a little bit because this new spring is got a lot of tension. All right, so she wants to catch right there. Now I press back and tilt at the same time and down on the tracks, and voila, magic, it's slipping forward. Really hard to describe exactly how to do that. If you've got one of these, an SP-10 or a Mag-10, you just got to kind of feel that out. Now, we are done with everything we needed to do with the action of the firearm. Let's move on to the trigger group. So we've got our trigger group and we need to put our new trigger spring in it. What are we going to do? Well, we don't have to completely disassemble this guy. All we have to do is remove the carrier, the lifter, the shell lifter here, pull that cross pin out in order to do that, and then we have to ease the hammer forward and we are good to go. But here's the process. Take the safety off. Hold the hammer, pull the trigger, ease it forward. Next, the carrier dog right here needs to come out. There is a spring held in by the rear cross pin. We're going to depress it and move that spring inwards. And we can pull up on it slightly, and there we go. Now it's loose, and now our dog is loose. I'm going to pull the dog pin right here. Make sure you don't lose that. Pull the dog. Set that off to the side. Now we're ready to remove the D-clip. I'm going to take my dental tool here. It doesn't have to be an actual dental tool. Anything that will work in this capacity is good, but this is what I have on hand. It's going to be a little bit tricky. Easier said than done. Actually, I'm going to come at it from the other side. There we go. Popped her right out. So I told you the wrong side. Come at it from the other side. Now I'm going to grab that guy and put it with the other small parts. Now I can push that pin and it's going to come right out the other side. And as soon as it clears, there goes our plunger and spring. So I should have grabbed that, but lessons learned, guys. Doing this for you. It didn't go very far. All right, our carrier comes right out and our hammer's flopping around. Now, one thing that will want to happen is this disconnect bar here will want to pop right out. That's not a big deal. Your spring will stay in place because it's kept in place by this rear cross pin. So you can just, if this guy decides to pop out, you can just set that with your carrier. It's not a big deal to get it back together. But since the spring and plunger have ejected themselves, I've got to grab the plunger and we can install the new spring. So here is the old spring, and it is not in bad shape at all. I think it's got plenty of power, but we're going to replace it anyways. Compare it to the new spring, we can see we're definitely 2 to 3 coils, maybe 2.5 coils actually less. So the new spring should provide us with a bit more tension, and I can tell you right now that's got good tension on it right there, but this is stiffer than a board, so that's going to provide a lot of pop there. So hard primers and late season gunk should be fought right through with this extra power hammer spring. Going to drop that in its recess. Now I'm going to put the plunger on it, push it down, get the hammer over the top of it. I'm going to cock it, and now I'm going to take the safety and put it on so that I can't let go of that hammer. Next up, I'm going to take my disconnect here, and it's kind of funky. This little jut out goes into this machined recess, and that is what that spring goes into. We're going to push that right on down, and I just drop this pin in place so we don't lose it. Next, take your carrier, start to drop it into place. You're going to want to pull your pin out until that can go into the recess here. And I'll let you see that because I covered it with my hand. Come back and just feel it. You'll be able to feel it pretty quick. Push it all the way through. Boom, there you go. Now we're going to take our D-clip here, and there is a recessed cut to hold the straight section of the D-clip. This time around, it's oriented itself on the bottom, so just find that little cut, get that straight section in there, and then use your thumbnail and just push it right up. If you want to take your dental tool and push that down and just make sure she's there, give her a push. Okay, good to go. Now, we need to add some tension to our carrier, of course. So let's take our carrier dog. There is only one orientation for this, and that is in this direction as you are looking at the left side of the trigger housing of the trigger pack here. Easiest thing to do is look at the bottom. If it's facing this way, wrong direction, shiny parts aren't there. Also, where's the spring gonna go? Turn it the other way. Oh, look, a spring recess. So we're gonna put that right on top of our dog there. Gonna take our cross pin or pivot pin here, whatever you want to call it. We're going to insert it. Now we're going to flop our spring around, come down on the right-hand side, then up and in, and boom. Super simple. Take that safety off, just test. Oh yeah. That is a lot more tension right there. A lot more tension. All right, time for reassembly. Reassembly of your Mag-10 here. We are going to take and drop in our trigger pack. Going to need to press our carrier release real quick. And now we went out left to right. Now we're going to go right to left. Insert your cross pins. And then typically, with a push of a thumb, they'll go into their detents and should be good to go. Just flip to the other side and make sure. That feels great. Now, as long as my bolt is lifted up a little bit, I can drop in my charging handle, drop it down and forward, and now I can cock it back and lock it in the rearward position. Slip on my piston sleeve, line up and slip on my barrel. Get my fore end on. Put my barrel nut on. And voila. All right. So now we've got the gun reassembled. Yeah, that's a lot faster, I can tell. That sounds great. Plenty of tension there. Let's check that trigger. Fantastic. I can definitely tell lock time is a little bit faster, and that action is pretty strong. So what this is going to do for us is going to balance out our action, make sure we're not beating up that bolt buffer too bad. We've got extra reliability with feeding, and we've got great lock time as well as plenty of power to knock through any debris or sludged up oils or water that will get in our action in cold temps. So the gun is resprung, fresh, ready to go. We're gonna bust some honkers and knock down some fat greenheads this coming season. Guys, I hope this was helpful for you. If you're interested, Wolff Springs offers this as a kit. Again, it's about 30 bucks or less shipped to your door. Highly recommend it. If you're buying one of these older guns, just freshen up your springs anyways. It's a cheap solution to a lot of headaches down the road. Just like you change brakes in your vehicle and change oil in your vehicle, make sure every once in a while you perform a deep clean on your firearm and you replace springs. They're an expendable item, guys, and you want your gun running in tip-top shape when you need to depend on it. As always, God bless, keep your powder dry. I'll see you in the next video.